Hello, everyone, and welcome to the third and final day of the workshop, How to End Emotional and Binge Eating. Stay tuned until the end because I'm going to announce something super special coming up next week. So stay tuned. So we have covered dieting, we have covered motivation and willpower. Now, secret number 3 is that you need to change your mindset around food instead of spending money on fat products and hoping for a magic fix. We have all done it. I have done it, and you will just see what I have done over the years trying to fix the problem that I had with food. So I have spent a lot of money. First, it started with books. I'm from the non-digital era, so I was just like reading books, then apps, cleanses, meal delivery programs. I was twice in a fat camp. And I would always lose quite a bit of weight in the beginning. And I always thought that I finally found the magic formula. But unfortunately, the moment that I came back from a fat camp, or the moment I stopped cleansing, or the moment I stopped counting and weighing and measuring my food, I was gaining it all back. And not only did I gain back what I lost, but I was just like realizing I'm gaining much more. So needless to say that I was desperate. And, I thought that I needed to kind of spend quite a bit of money in order to be healthy. And a lot of people do think that it will cost you a lot of money. But actually, what I realized is that I didn't change my mindset around food, and I didn't learn how to cope with changes that were happening. So for me, food, eating, and number on the scale was all that matters. I didn't think about food in terms of emotions and what I'm actually thinking when I, see an item, think of an item, go to the grocery store, and so on. So I was very much living in an all or nothing thinking. And I was labeling food as good or bad. So what that means? That means that for me, I was either on a diet or off a diet. I was either eating good or eating bad. I was on a wagon, off a wagon. So with that in mind, I was either eating very clean, good, healthy foods, or I was completely having cheat days from morning till late evening, and I just didn't care about anything else other than how much more of junk can I eat. I'm not proud of this, you guys, but I'm just telling you that this is what I went through. And the reason why I went through that is because I was living in this black or white mentality. And of course, when I was doing everything good, I considered myself to be a very good eater and, a very good person even, who takes care of herself, or a person who just doesn't care and eats all the rubbish food. And so with time, I started to think, who actually defines what is a good or a bad food? If we just look at society today, we can almost argue over any foods. That's why we are so confused what we should eat. Is some food clean or dirty? Should you eat meat or not meat? Is fish full of mercury or not? Is soy bad for your hormones or not? Are vegetables full of pesticides or not? Is dairy good or not? Sweets good or not? So I realized we will never be able to perfect the way we eat. And also, if we try to eat perfectly, clean, we are not able to participate in life, in socializing, in vacations, in holidays, in celebrations, and so on. So I had decided that I'm going to start allowing all foods to be part of my diet. And in the beginning, I was doing it bit by bit. And when I saw that nothing dramatically was happening, I embraced it. Not only that nothing dramatic was happening, but I realized the more I introduced the foods that I was craving and pushing away, the less I was binging. The novelty was gone. This idea of forbidden fruit was gone. And I noticed that, okay, if I eat, let's say in my case, bread or a piece of chocolate from time to time, when I actually crave it, instead of waiting for the urge to be massive and then have a full-blown binge, I decided to try just different items and see how it goes. So that's one way of thinking that can be detrimental for your success when it comes to ending emotional binge eating. So another thing, which is also very important, is that you need to change the mindset and how you talk to yourself. Look, for example, if your friend lost 4 pounds, you would not say to them, only 4? I thought that you will lose more. You have been dieting and exercising and eating clean. Wow, you should just give up. You would never say this to a friend, and yet you say it to yourself all the time. You are your own worst critic. And the problem with having negative thoughts and the way you talk to yourself is that it usually goes hand in hand with how you feel and how you behave. Let me give you an example. If you step on a scale and you see a number that you're not really happy with, you might say, oh, I hoped that I would see a lower number. This just doesn't work. I am doomed. I will never lose weight. So I might as well just eat. Do you see where I'm going with this? You have a trigger, which what we spoke in the training too, which is the scale and the number, and your thoughts are going into that negative space. You don't want to see what you have been actually eating, how was your environment, your stress levels, and try to understand how you can rearrange those elements. No, you go in the negative. So when you say things like that, you don't feel great. You don't feel great about yourself. You don't feel great about your life, your body, whatever it is. So what do you do then? You need to rectify because you're not going to sit in your sorrow. So you eat to feel good, to get the high. If you convince yourself, I will not lose weight, trust me, you will not lose weight, you will eat. Because we're behaving exactly the way we speak to ourselves, the way our thoughts are formulated. That's what we do. You're sabotaging, you're self-sabotaging thoughts. They influence your emotions and they influence your behaviors. If you are what I call a fortune teller and you predict the future, I will never lose weight, you will never lose weight. If you only look at negatives and not the positives, you will only focus on the negative. If you say this is too hard, it will be too hard. I'm doomed to look like this. I have tried so many diets and nothing worked. So the way you talk to yourself is a big part of losing motivation, feeling horrible, ashamed, guilty about yourself. And then consequently, because you already feel like that, you just go on with binging that day in order to make you feel good. So mindset in terms of what food is good or bad and how you talk to yourself plays a key role in ending emotional and binge eating. Pay attention to your thoughts. Pay attention if you are a black and white thinker. And if you are doing these things, try to incorporate different foods slowly in the beginning, one by one, and you will see that food will not be so appealing anymore. And also try to hear your own thoughts and what you're telling yourself about all this, let's say, changes in your body, foods that you're eating, and any other thing that might be happening to you. So this is Wendy, and Wendy is a very, I would say, typical client because she has been dieting for over 2 decades, and really, she's probably the person that I know has tried every diet under the sun and, was in resorts and cleansing and juicing and, meal delivery, under-eating, this program, that program. She has done it all, but she never really understood that her thoughts were the main driver behind her emotional eating, and what she was telling herself was actually ruining her health. Because the more things you try, the more you know that the chances of that succeeding this time are slim. This is normal. You try with the hope that some new diet will work, but deep down, you know it won't. So you already feel like a failure. And that's what she was doing. And so that's why every failure was actually a proof, once again, that she's not doing things correctly, and then she would binge. So it was all very much in her head. And of course, all the products and the services that she bought were just another proof that there is something wrong with her and that she's doomed to look like this. And when you feel that you're doomed to look a certain way, well, then you just act like that and, you binge. So I have now guided you through the 3 pillars. One is that you need to stop dieting. Second one is to focus on triggers rather than on motivation and willpower. And the third one is to change your mindset around food and what you tell yourself. These are the 3 main pillars on how to end emotional and binge eating. As I said, at the end of this workshop, I have a small announcement. Stay tuned. Next week, I will launch a really, really cool program that will be available only for you as my new subscribers. So stay tuned, it's gonna be amazing. There is a membership program coming up, a community program coming up, and I'm very excited to share all the details with you in just a couple of days. Thank you for watching for this and hope to speak to you soon.